Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another BigChange Innovate. This is the Innovate for Q3. If you are watching us live, you are very welcome. My name is Jonathan Isaacs, and I am joined by some big changes as well. We have Luth from CS, we have Andy and Leanne from our product team. Before we also having some more big changes join as well, Freddie and Charlie. Before we begin, we have sent the invite out to pretty much every corner of the globe. So the chat is open. I would like to know where you are dialing in from. Is there anyone from America joining us? I know the time difference is making that unlikely, at least for some parts of the States. Do we have any people from France joining us? James, good morning to you from Normanton. My geography is terrible. Where is Normanton? Is that in the UK? If it is, let me know. I'd also... South Wales. Good morning, Deborah. Near Wakefield. Okay, nice part of the world. Also, let me know what brew you have with us. Do you have a tea? Do you have a coffee? Andy was telling me before we started that he'd run out of coffee. Andy had a builder round. So let's hope the builder doesn't do some shoddy work because he's not been had a cup of coffee, as is his right. Rochester, Dublin, Essex, just round the corner in Leeds, near the Leodis pub. That sounds like Brighton. My sister lives in Brighton, Mark. I will have to come and visit you and her. She keeps inviting me. Macclesfield, Nottingham, Twycross. I haven't seen anyone overseas yet, unless I miss it. Sydney, Brad. If you're in Sydney, right, okay, we're all going to go and visit Brad. Sydney, you are very most welcome, Brad. Let us make a start. So, as I mentioned, my name is Jonathan Isaacs. I am Product Marketing Manager here at BigChange. We have a plethora of product managers in the wings as well, and we also have some of our CS team as well. If you are not a BigChange customer, you are very, very welcome. This is our showcase where we demonstrate all of the functionality that has been added in the previous quarter. If you're new to BigChange or you are a potential future customer of BigChange, we are a job management platform. We do absolutely everything that you can run your entire business on. Some of the things are shown on screen. We have over 2,000 customers globally. As you can see in the chat, we have them from Sydney, Newcastle upon Tyne, and Suffolk and Colchester. Head over to bigchange.com and you will be able to read more about what we do. Hopefully your screen will look something like this. The chat is open, as you have discovered. Ask Q&A is also open. The reactions are also open. So if you love something, if you like something, if I say something particularly funny, you can, of course, react to that. Do not raise your hand. That won't do anything. But because the chat is usually exceptionally busy, if you have a question, do put it in the Q&A box, because that will allow the big changers who are in the wings to answer them. The chat is open, as I've said, so don't put any credit card details in, don't put any usernames or passwords in, and if you have any questions, like I said, put them in the Q&A. There is a short survey at the end, which I will give you the link to, and if you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, head over to youtube.com/BigChange, and you will be able to watch this back if you want to, and all of our other webinars and much more content as well. I mentioned there is an online survey. Those will appear, a QR code will appear consistently across all of the slides in the bottom right-hand corner. And that will allow you to enter in your details. And if you want more information or to sign up to any of the things which are in closed beta or open beta, you can indicate on that single survey and we will reach out to you. So I'm going to be talking through the items which are on screen. Some of them are in production now, and then some of them are in closed beta and open beta. You might be asking yourself, what is the difference between open and closed beta? Open beta are the functions which are available on your system right now They are still in a beta stage. So that means we're still working on them. You can provide feedback. You don't need to do anything to use the features that are in open beta. The things which are in closed beta, however, are not going to be on your site without us doing something. So please do fill in the form by scanning the QR code that will be in the bottom right hand corner. Make your selection and we will reach out to you to enable them. So these are the things that we are going to show you. Some of them have been on the previous Innovates, but they are fantastic functionality and they may well have received a bit of an update. So I make no apology for going through them again because you will want to use them if you are not doing so. So first things first, the all new schedule all. There's a lot of alls in there. So on screen, we have an example as to what this looks like. As you can see on screen, we have the QR code in the bottom right hand corner. And we have on the left hand side a screen. And if you click on the jobs, you can either select them all or just a few and then select schedule all, which is this option here. That will then give you a window that looks very similar to the one on screen. You can apply various different filters. You can apply different resource groups, specific resources, date ranges. The only field that is mandatory is the contact. And the reason why we need a contact is because not all fixed resources have a fixed starting location. For that case, I just usually put the head office in, which is the starting location for the vast majority of people, and I press optimize. It works away and you may get a screen looking like this. This screen is advising you the jobs that could not be included within the optimization, and there may be several reasons why they couldn't be included, but we will tell you about them. It could be that there isn't a match on constraints. It might have some missing attributes, or it could be that there is a date on it that is not able to be met, or it's outside of supported regions. You can, if you want to, click on the job, or by clicking on the link, it will display the screen like this. This displays the full job details. You can make any changes if you want, and you can then save the job. If you want to copy the full list to your clipboard for dealing with later, you can do so. And when you have a list that you are happy with to be scheduled, you can click on the optimize schedule. It will work away in the background. Again, we've not made any saving yet. We are just displaying the information for you as to what will take place. You're then presented with a beautifully designed screen which shows the routes which it suggests. On the right hand side, you can see a map with different coloured routes which match the blocks next to the screen and the table. So we can see we have colours down here and we have coloured routes. The table shows the job count, driving distance, duration and other details as well. If you want to see an individual route, you can do so by clicking on it. Here we're looking at Joshua's schedule in more detail, and we can see the route that he will take on screen with the little flags showing the stops in the order that he will take. We can also see this in a table view. Here are the jobs that cannot be optimized, and we can see the ones that are already scheduled have a job next to it. At this point, the routes have not been created. As I said, that will only happen once we press the save button as shown on screen. It will ask you to confirm the action. Again, you can cancel out of it if you want to click on no. I'm going to click on yes, and it will tell you that things are being processed. And that is it. The result is jobs in the schedule beautifully organized efficiently to resources and vehicles which have the right skill set and attributes. So go and start using that. That is in production, and let us know your thoughts. Next up, we are going to cover our first item in closed beta. So the vast majority of you will not see this on your site unless you let us know by filling in the form. This is perfect for customers who have simple invoicing methods. We are working on adding some more functionality for complex invoicing methods, but for those who have simple ones, you can get going. Once it's enabled, you will have the new job finance option available in the navbar that you can see on screen. You can then choose the invoices from the drop-down menu, and you are greeted with a nice little welcome message, similar to the one that is shown on screen. You can then press the new invoice button. This is very similar to the purchase invoicing screen that I will show you later. You can add a contact if you haven't already done so, or you can use an existing one. You can add a reference, which is not the invoice number, but it's a reference that could be related to something else. You can see the date of issue, due date, and activity relating to it on the right-hand side, which gets updated when we save and make some changes. When it comes to adding an item, we've taken away the different buttons. We know that 3 different options to add an invoicing item can be confusing for some new users. So we've merged it all together for a better user experience. Now, when you type in something, it will search stock, predefined invoicing items, and other items as well. If you want to continue typing to create a one-off free text item, then you can do so on screen. I'm seeing in the chat that some users are seeing some blurred images. What we will do is we will update this on the recording. I'm not too sure why it's showing as blurred for some users, but we'll make sure the recording comes out clear. So, as I mentioned, you can continue typing and then you can select a one-time item, which is free text. Next, you can clearly see what is added when we add a service. That is a predefined invoicing item. And if we want to add more one-time only items, we can do. The fields that are populated are highlighted in red. So before you come to save it, you're not getting advised that something is missing. You can fill in as you go. There are other options at the bottom, including default, nominal codes, and department codes for any line item. So when it's saved, it will appear in a list view, which has the options on side. You can see it when it's in draft, awaiting payment, or paid. Against each invoice, you can also send them as well and apply them to jobs. In this case, if we're going to send it, it will open up the email box, which you are all aware. And you can also assign it to a job by creating a new one or assigning to an existing job. If we assign it to an existing job, we are asked to search for it. If we want to create a new job for it, it can be a standard job, group job, or a group job from template. We can download as well as delete, but it's best practice, of course, not to delete invoices, as you will then have a break in invoicing numbers, which auditors don't usually like. So let's have a look at financial lines. Again, this is something that is in closed beta, but when we have added it, you will be able to toggle between this functionality and the old version. One of the big challenges that our customers have faced usually is being able to easily identify what they are looking for in their financial line items. You could have something like this, which is a list of tens, hundreds, or even of thousands of line items. Expenses being mixed up with travel, job rates, mixed up with free text items, and it can be incredibly challenging to see whether or not you're making money. Guys, just a reminder, I can see some questions going into the chat. If you can put the questions into the Q&A box, that will make it much easier for the BigChange team to keep up to date with questions and making sure that they're answered. We're excited to show you the better way of seeing line items. So we are against a job. If we move over to the financial tab, again, when we have enabled this on your site, if you move over to the financial tab, there will be an option at the top and you can toggle it on. When you toggle it on, you get a totally different interface. First up, we have categorization. We have categories for labor, travel, material, expenses, and other. Where we can, we will automatically put those items into the relevant categories. And we have a beautiful summary on the right-hand side. This shows you the predicted margins and total for each categories. And under the document sections, it shows what has been invoices and what has come from purchase orders. We have a setting allowing you to change the currency if you need to. And for the lines there, for the lines that we didn't know the type of, perhaps they were free text, we put them under the category of other, which is at the bottom. You can change the type by clicking on the three dots next to the line. You can change the category and pick the category that you want. If you want to move more than one at a time, simply select the checkbox next to more than one category or at the header, which I'm highlighting on screen, and repeat the process for all of them. Select the new type and it gets moved. You can also create financial documents from just selected line items. In this case, I've checked the box at the top under labor because I just want to invoice the labor element. And now I can create a new financial document. All of the financial documents are available, but I'm going to create an invoice. The invoice pops up and I can save it. Now, when I look at the status column, I can see that those lines have been invoiced. The travel has not, so I'm not going to duplicate invoice for labor lines. I can also see an update in the document section. We have on the right-hand side, one invoice has been created with the amount of £151.20. Does this work with group jobs? Question you might be asking yourselves. Yes, it does in the exact same way. We have the group job finance. Again, you can toggle between on and off. Hopefully when you toggle it on, you won't be toggling it off. I mentioned purchase invoices at the start. We've been working on this a long time, and whilst there's still some things that we want to add, we have enough functionality for you guys to benefit from purchase invoicing. This is in open beta. So first stop in creating a purchase invoice is by creating a purchase order. We have a purchase order on screen that I'm going to save. I'm going to send it to the supplier, which will happen automatically if you use the email functionality. When we've done that, we get a new invoice button that will take us to the purchase invoicing section. Another way is to open up the purchase order and select the purchase order invoicing tab, which I'm waving around on screen. If you haven't created a purchase invoice yet, you will get a little on-screen graphic guiding you through, and you can click the new purchase invoice button. Clicking on that takes you to this screen. You can add the invoice number, change quantities, pricing, and add additional items if these are different to the ones that you've received to the ones that you originally invoiced, and you can then approve for payment. As I mentioned before, let me go back a section. You have a beautiful timeline of events on the right hand side. Once done, if you have a financial package, it will sync to them as well. We also have alerts that can be configured. In our alerting module, you can select any web user has a purchase invoice stage change to, and then choose your stage that you would like. You could choose any status or a specific status as well. Contracts. A lot of users have contracts. Bear with me 2 seconds whilst I take a drink. It was a cup of tea, if anyone was curious. Contracts is something that a lot of our customers have, and when they move over to BigChange, they will bring some contract information with them, or if they onboard a new client, they will want to import contract information. This is available today. So as I mentioned, contracts are a big part of the BigChange platform. For many years, you've been able to automate the manual process of creating invoices against contracts based on various pricing models, such as ad hoc based on job completion. And the use of our contracting functionality ensures accurate values on invoices for timely invoicing at a period that you agreed with your customer. The system is hugely customizable, with the example on screen taking all jobs completed between invoicing periods and creating a single invoice for them. In this case, I'm going to invoice the first on each month, and that is going to bring all of your data, as you can see on screen. You can use it for both long-term and short-term agreements. The attachments tab and job tab allow you to keep everything in a single place. What we've now done is we've now added the ability to import 3 new methods. So we have on screen a template that is showing you the basic contract import, the ad hoc contract import, and then values from job contract import. All of these templates are available from the Import Hub, which can be accessed by an administrator by clicking on the menu bar and going to Account Settings, Under Forms, there is an Imports, and if you scroll down, you will be able to see the contract section, download the templates, and import your data from there as well. So we have some updates to our standard reports and our dashboards. There are two ways of visualizing data within BigChange. Both are exceptionally powerful, but they do very different things. The first category we have is what we call standard reports. These show data in BigChange, usually in table format, and can be exported into Excel for you to create your own charts from. The second category we have on the right-hand side is what we call dashboards, and we introduced these last year. They do all of the heavy lifting for you. They take BigChange data and present that data in charts and graphs that can be easily understood for you to provide for you to use actionable insights on. Dashboards are available within the BigChange platform. However, you might need to activate a license. If you click on Reporting and Analytics at the top, if you see a bar that looks like Business Intelligence reports are now available, it means you need to assign a license to this web use. This is really easy. All of our customers have licenses assigned to their account as by default. Ask an administrator to go to Admin Settings. Find the particular user that you would like to assign a license to. Under the dashboard section of that particular user, you can apply a license from that screen. And when they refresh the page, they will see the dashboards. We've got a mass selection of dashboards that are available. And if you have not used the dashboards yet, we did a webinar a while back now, but it's available on our YouTube channel, The Devil's in the Dashboard, where we had a good look at the dashboards that we had available at the time. You can scan the QR code on screen if you want to watch it on catch up. So what changes have we made? We have added a fantastic new sales opportunity dashboard. It shows you the value of sales opportunities at each stage, the number of sales opportunities at each stage, the value per contact, so the opportunity you have per customer, the sales opportunity owner, so if you are creating sales opportunities for your sales team, which sales team member has the most value open, the value by probability, so at which stage, and you can see down here the location of where the vast majority of your opportunities are lying. So you can see if you are going to have a particularly busy period in a particular location coming up, and the filters allow you to narrow your data down even further. This is perfect for seeing if you have missed revenue and the profit that is coming up. For our customers who are not based in the UK, but perhaps speak in French, these are also available in French, and they will take your setting automatically. The next thing I'm going to show you is what we are calling Timesheet V2. This is absolutely amazing. When Roger, I don't know if Roger's on the call in the wings. If you are, Roger, drop us a wave in the chat. When Roger showed me this a couple of weeks back, I was absolutely blown away, because timesheet information is one of the things that when I was doing onboarding is perhaps, hello Roger, welcome. When I was doing onboarding a while back at BigChange, timesheet information was perhaps one of the most challenging areas, and the thing that Roger and his team have been working on is absolutely amazing. It brings so much customization to your hands, and it's fabulous. So let's jump straight in. So this is in closed beta, so you will need to scan the QR code on the bottom right hand side, fill in the form, and let us know if you want access to this. It's still being worked on, but it's amazing. It combines timesheet data, timesheet activities, and job data into a single report. This is what it looks like, completely empty, and this is what it looks like when it's populated with data. James, it's great that you saw it. I'm guessing you were at the success event that we had, but this is populated with all of the activities from your engineers. On the left hand side, you can choose from specific resource groups. You can decide whether you want to show the totals, include specific resources that are not active, how you display the duration, such as decimals or as time. If you display it as decimal, it allows you to easily add hourly rates for payroll. So you can just, at the other end, type in the hourly rate and then times it by that number. We also have another feature. You might be wondering, why are these now in color? Well, if we go to our job type settings, one of the unknown features is that you can add a job type color. If you then go to the schedule, it might look like nothing has changed. But when you click on the color option to job type, you will then see the colors of each of your job types. Really, really useful if you want to see emergency work, scheduled work, maintenance, anything. You can assign different job colors, and those will then filter through to the timesheet report. But you might be looking at the columns and going, Jonathan, I want other information on this report. There's things on this that I want and I'm not seeing it. Well, Roger and the team came up with a fantastic idea. They add a worksheet to your site. And this worksheet has all of the different items that you may or you may not want to show. For example, you could add other items in simply by changing the default answer, I think it is, to yes. And for the ones that you don't want to see, you could say no. You can also change the order by dragging and dropping them. The worksheet does not need to be filled in by engineers. It does not need to be attached to the jobs. You just change the default answer to yes, and things will ripple through to the report. And like I said, you can change the order of them as well. So if you want a timesheet to include things, you can do so very, very easily. And that worksheet scrolled on as well. So for those of you that can see the screen quite clearly, there's pretty much absolutely everything you could possibly want. Some of the things that you can show are assistance time, a line for each job when it gets suspended, and it exports beautifully. Everything that exports is absolutely beautiful. So this report, absolutely amazing. Do let us know if you want to get a hand of it, because I know that Roger and the team have been working exceptionally well on this. We mentioned, I think at the last webinar, that we have data as a service. That is a big term, but what it effectively is putting your data from BigChange along with data from other software into a single location and merging that together. You don't have to export data and import data manually. It's all automatic. You can have a look at the data dictionary if you want, but we have absolutely everything that you may want to run your business on. So let me just move through. We have data marts available covering a wide variety of items, including activities, absences, journeys, and working hours. These were added earlier. For our more technical customers out there, we're going to have a brief talk about our RESTful API. Mel and the team have been working exceptionally hard on this. If we have a look at what an API is, an API is kind of like a waiter. You tell the waiter what you want, and the request is in the API, and a few moments later the waiter brings out exactly what you have ordered. It allows multiple systems to talk to one another. It's a technical language, effectively. It's the building block of many automations out there. Some of you may have heard of IFTTT, Make, Trade.io, and Power Automate is also one of them. But developers can build bespoke integrations. We did have, and we still do have, a service called BigChange Web Services. That is slightly different to the REST API that we are now offering. So what is the two? Well, if we continue the waiter analogy with web services, it's like shouting across a restaurant which is incredibly noisy. You can see on screen that we need ingredients. So we need ingredients, chicken, and a side equals salad, and a dressing equals ranch, and a diet color. It gets messy, particularly with really long, complicated requests, such as requesting specific worksheet answers or data from a job. With a REST API, it's totally different. The menu is completely organized with beautiful sections that represent specific items. So in this menu, we have sections for steak and fries and beef salad. And all you need to do is ask the waiter for the beef, and they know exactly what it is. They bring it to you. It's much, much easier. So as you can see, REST API is much more organized. It's easy to read. It's infinitely scalable. The code is consistent and security is baked in right from the get-go. If you are technical and want some more information, Ashley, if you want more information, scan the QR code on screen to be taken to our developer portal, but scan the other QR code and let us know what you would like, or let us know and we will reach out to you. The areas that are currently covered by the REST API are contracts, jobs, note, stock, and much, much more. So, Ashley, scan the QR code in the bottom right-hand corner. Dashcams. If you saw me at the Success Forum on Tuesday or Monday or whenever it was earlier in the week, you will know I'm about to talk about dashcams. Dashcams are absolutely amazing. We've already installed them across a variety of our customers, but I'm going to take a drink whilst I play you a video, all being well, and hopefully this will play. If you have sound, it will play. Don't worry about the QR codes. They will come through shortly when I go on to the next slide. So those are the BigChange dashcams. These are available today. You can let us know interest by scanning the QR code on the bottom right-hand side. What makes our dashcams better than all of the other dashcams? Well, you saw on the video, we do AI detection of events that could be deemed hazardous, such as driving without a seatbelt, looking at a mobile phone. But also, unlike other dashcams out there, our dashcams come with a SIM card included that automatically transfer the clips of events that you may well want to view up to the cloud, and they are then viewable within the BigChange map. So if you want to sign up, again, there are two ways. You can scan the QR code on screen and fill in the form. Alternatively, you can click on the 3x3 grid in your menu item and select dashcams. That will take you to a web page, populate the form, and one of our customer success team will reach out to you. Last time I showed you this, that's as far as I went. However, we have some stuff that is coming later this year. You will be able to live stream should you wish to. There will hopefully be custom settings, and you will be able to get fleet safety reports as well. So these are things that we are working on. As I mentioned before, other dashcams, it's a dashcam that you would store in your vehicle and you don't get any updates on functionality. We are going to be adding these things, all being well, later this year. Video requests and live streaming are the biggest things that we heard since we announced this functionality earlier this year. And we're really excited to bring this to you in a couple of months. Saving money is a big part of businesses. They want to save as much money as they can so that it increases profitability. And I talked about fuel being very expensive. It's still getting very expensive. There are rumours in the budget that we may well lose that 5p discount that we've had so far. So you will want to sign up to BigChange Fuel because the more fuel you use, the more expensive it is. BigChange Fuel is a way of saving a huge amount of money by offering stable wholesale pricing. There are no card fees. A lot of fuel card companies, including the one that we partnered with, if you go direct, charge a card fee of around £2 to £3. With BigChange Fuel, you do not pay a card fee at all. It's the cost-effective way of managing your business. As I mentioned, we offer stable pricing. There is no card fee. Even if you go direct to the right fuel card company, if you say you're not from BigChange, you will be paying a card fee. Subject to status, you do get payment terms which allow for cash flow, and every fuel type is supported, including electric vehicles. To sign up, again, you can do the 3x3 grid and click on fuel, and that allows you to sign up. That is BigChange Fuel. Last time I was doing this webinar, I asked if anyone was using BigChange Fuel, and we did get someone. Mark Sutton dropped into the chat, completely unprompted last time I was doing this Innovate, saying that he was saving around £400 a week. If you average that out, that's around £20,000 a year. I had the privilege of meeting Mark at one of our customer success forums, and he mentioned since he made that quote, it's gone down a tiny bit. I think he said he's now saving about £360 a year, something like that. But that is still a huge amount of money for effectively a few moments in filling out a form. Fill out the form. Mark, you're back. It's £350. Thank you. See, completely unprompted. You heard it here first. Good savings still being made. So do take advantage of BigChange Fuel. Now we're now going to have a look at the jobs list search filter. This is something that is from the device side. So for our customers who are using the device, or our engineers on the road, there is now new search options available. They can sort by different dates, distances, customer names and rating, and they can access this by the menu on the top and by the hiding them if they want to. Oopsie, where's my button gone? If they want to hide them, they can hide them and show them here. We also talked about what BigChange Express was. If you weren't at the last Innovate or haven't watched on catch up, you may be familiar with the JobWatch Express app, which had been around for many, many years. It was the perfect tool for business owners and managers to see job progression and tracking whilst on the go. We have now redeveloped this as a mobile web app. So it takes advantage of new technology. It works on devices of any size, and we are calling it BigChange Express. And we are hoping to add even more functionality to this as the months go by. The big QR code on the left-hand side will take you to express.bigchange.com. You can scan that using an iPad, iPhone, or you can type in express.bigchange.com into your web browser. You will need a web user license, but if you go to the express.bigchange.com, you can enter in your email address, you can enter in a valid password, and you will then be displayed a screen that looks something like this. It will recommend you to save it to your screen so that you can get back to it quickly, but we have a huge amount of information beautifully displayed on a dashboard with widgets showing key metrics such as distance travelled, fuel, and number of jobs completed. And it's in a single place rather than navigating to different tabs. On the menu bar, you can change between the tracking section and the jobs, or return to the dashboard, as well as take a look at the extra offering, which I mentioned. On the tracking side, you can, of course, switch between tracking vehicles and the resource location. We've optimized what is displayed in the widgets, so you can see their name and date and time of the last location. You can, of course, search as well if you wanted to. Tapping on a resource takes you into the location which they are on a zoomed in basis. And on the jobs tab, again, you can search by using the magnifying glass on the top right. Tapping onto an individual job, you can see the job details and you can view and download the job card. You can also apply filters to return the information that you want. So you can use BigChange Express. It is in open beta, but it's available today. So scan the big QR code on screen and enter in your details. Last but very not least, on the things that I want to show you today are tasks. Tasks is something that the team have been working on for a while now. And although it's still in closed beta, you will want to get access to this so that you can start using it. Let's take a look at how things worked the old way. I know this example is not going to apply to every single one of our customers, but let's imagine you're going to a site and you need to service 5 things. Let's say you're going to have to service 5 boilers whilst on site. And so you have a worksheet called boiler service. You'll attach that to a job called service or boiler service. And because there's 5 of them, you will do one of 2 things. You will either have to duplicate that worksheet 5 times, and there's 5 different worksheets that you need to keep up to date, or you'll do what other customers do, and that is create 5 different jobs, and you may well put them in a group job. That means there are 5 different jobs that need to be scheduled. There may well be fixed prices for 5 different jobs that need to be removed or consolidated or changed. And you've then got to send 5 different jobs to an engineer who has to accept 5 different jobs, drive to different jobs, get 5 different job signatures, and you will get 5 different job cards at the end. You may well get 5 different invoices that you then need to deal with. But with tasks, there is a much, much easier way of doing this. Again, just for clarity, we're using the example of a boiler service. This also expands to installations and virtually every other task where you may well want to do multiple things at the same time. So when this is enabled in your site, this is going to be something that you need to scan the QR code and make a selection on. When this is enabled on your site, under the schedule option, we have a new option under worksheets called tasks. We need to add a new task definition. We're going to keep this really, really simple, and we're going to call it boiler service. You can then decide whether it's only going to be completed once. For example, this would be perfect for a risk assessment. It's a task that only needs to be completed once. Or in this case, it's going to be repeatable because we're going to repeat this task multiple times. We don't need to build a new set of questions, and we're going to use the worksheet we have already created, and we set the completion time. In this case, we want the resource to complete it before they complete the job. Web users will be able to make changes at any time. So there we have it. We have our single task definition. It's taken a handful of seconds, if that. But you can build out your library. For different tasks such as installs, risk assessments, repairs, whatever you want. Again, you don't need to build a new set of questions. You can use the existing worksheet ones. So next, we need to make a change to our job. Whilst you're trialing this, you may well want to create different job types just so that you can keep an eye on what things are using the new trial process and what are using your existing process, because you can't mix tasks and worksheets together. You have to use one or the other. So what we will do is we will make the selection to say use tasks, and the worksheet box will disappear, and we will make selections of the tasks that we want to use by default. I've added the boiler service, as you can see on screen. Next, when we come to create a job and we select the job type boiler service, the worksheet drop down is changed and it's changed with tasks, and we get a tasks sub. So let's take a look at the tasks submenu. At the moment, we only have one boiler service that's assigned to this job. We want more than one. So I'm going to click on the task and we can add some more to it. We can add more to it. So I'll select the add task button next to it, and we can add multiple. If I clicked add another, we would get one, but I'm going to add multiple. I have one already. I want to add 4 more. So I'm going to type in 4 and click add, and we get 4 more tasks. So that's great. We've got a job with 5 tasks on the screen. How does that look from the engineer's perspective? So on our engineer, we have a job. We have a job. When we tap into it, we're going to go to the job as normal. We're going to start the job. And when we scroll down, we have a button. Whilst it's in beta, it's going to have this little potion bottle. But we click on our tasks button. We have one task. You can see it's repeated 5 times. So I'm going to click on that task. And there are 5 items, 5 boilers that need servicing, because that also represents the 5 on the web. When I click on the first one, I get our worksheet questions. We can see the mandatory ones. If I try and mark the task as complete without populating all of the mandatory items, it won't let me. It will tell me that I need to do that. So when I have completed the first task, you can see on the web, the first task is marked as complete and the boiler service element is in progress. if I tap into it, I can see the answers that were provided by the resource. When I've completed all 5, I get all 5 ticks. But let's say I want to add another one. We've had the customer on the phone and there is a call. They actually have another boiler that needs servicing. So one of 2 things can happen. I can add another service to make the 6th one, and that will then appear on the device, assuming there is internet connection, of course. If there isn't internet connection, we can't do that. But what can happen is the engineer can add another one from their device. So if I press the add another button, we then get a 7th one because we had 6, the 6th one added by the web back office user, and then we have the 7th one on screen. And again, that transfers to the web interface. When all of the tasks are completed, you are then presented with a green task item. So a huge amount of things that I have shown you today do not disappear just yet. Even though I have gone through pretty much everything that I want to show you, do not disappear just yet. So these are the things that I showed you: schedule all, dashcam, data as a service, contracts, imports and exports, update to the sales opportunity. We did basic invoicing, line items, REST API, timesheet report v2, which got a lot of interest I could see out of the corner of my eye on chat. Purchase invoicing, BigChange Express, and I missed tasks. But tasks I can see also got a lot of interest. Please do scan the QR code on screen. That is the survey that you will need to let us know which features you are interested in and which features you want more information on. I have also deployed a survey that is asking you to rate this webinar. Please do give me your feedback on a scale of 1 to 5. How useful did you find it, and how valuable you found it, and let us know what words. But don't go just yet. We have some big news. I have a virtual drum roll, but I don't have any sound effects with me. That is something. Andy's in the corner of my eye is doing a virtual drum roll. I will have sound effects for the next one. We launched our Field Service Stories podcast. You may have seen that on our YouTube channel. We have had the video versions on our YouTube channel for some time, but now you can listen to Field Service Stories in your podcasting app of choice. This includes Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple's podcasts, and YouTube. I can't say the 5th one on screen because if I say the A lady's word on screen, the A lady around me is going to think that I'm speaking to her. So you can listen to Field Service Stories, which we've so far done, I think about 5 or 6. We have had some amazing, amazing guests on this. If you're interested in taking part in our podcast, do let us know. So what is coming up at BigChange? We've had people who attended our customer growth event, which happened earlier in the week. They said it was exceptional and invaluable. They also said it was great at refining strategies. We have our last one of the year. There are still spaces available. If you want a space, you do need to email louise.stone@bigchange.com so she can reserve you a space. We also have released our September newsletter that contains a huge amount of information. It also invites you to this webinar, but you've already seen that. So you will be able to view what is happening at BigChange in our newsletter. So we are almost at time. I am out of breath. Let me have a quick look at the chat. Is there any questions that I need to answer, or have the team done a fantastic job of answering them? It is looking like the team have done a fantastic job of answering them. Will the Lunch and Learn classes return? Do you know what? I would love them to return. And I know I said this last time. Yes, I would love them to return. I want to know what you guys want to see. I would love to know what you guys want to see, because I've done quite a bit of the Lunch and Learn classes. Do you want me to cover the same things just to refresh your memory? Let me know. But yes, I really enjoyed doing the Lunch and Learn classes. And I know you guys got a huge amount out of them, but I don't want to repeat myself. If you guys have value in seeing similar information, again, let me know and I'll be more than happy to oblige. Let's have a look. Need Lunch and Learn for engineers. Keris, that's a brilliant idea. how would we get, just thinking about this through, how would we get the engineers off the road? Is there a good time for engineers? Because we've done the lunch and learns on the website over lunchtime. Would your engineers, rather than pop off to Greg's or wherever it is that they go for lunch, would they watch me on their mobile device? If they would, then absolutely, I will definitely sign up. Alternatively, the lunch and learns for engineers can be recorded and you can watch it back. You book the time in for them. Okay. Friday afternoons for engineer lunch and learns. Okay, Jeanette, I will think about that. Possibly through Teams as our engineers, could be anyway. Yeah, we definitely have to do it remotely. Okay, they'd watch it if they were paid. Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah, they probably would watch it if they were paid. So I can see the team did a fantastic job of answering the questions. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for those who filled in the survey rating the webinar. I really appreciate it. Before I go, actually, for those of you that are asking for engineer webinars, what type of things would you like us to cover on the Lunch and Learns for Engineers? Sorry, I know. If you don't want to stay for this little chit chat, you can by all means drop off. Stock allocation. Anything else? Stock is the big one. New invoicing lunch and learn would be great. Okay, cool. Trying to organize the engineers to do anything is like herding cats. Okay. Tips and tricks for using the mobile app, moving assets. Okay. Right. I have some information. I can't give you a date, but I will certainly look forward doing something like this. Right. I'm going to go have another cup of tea. Thank you so much to Luth, Andy Knight, Leanne Barr, Louise Stone, Katrina, Alikia, and Freddie, all of the big changes for helping me monitor the chat and questions. Roger as well, thank you for joining us in the chat. I haven't yet seen how many people have signed up for access to beta stuff, but if you have done that, the team will get back to you as soon as possible to activate those things. We really do appreciate you guys giving up so much of your time to learn about the BigChange platform. I will get the recording up on YouTube as soon as possible. It might take a bit of time if the recording has also done horrible things with the graphics, but the recording will be out before lunchtime on Friday because I'm going off to Stockholm next week. If anyone has been in Stockholm, before I go, let me know what I should do. I know I'm like using you guys as like tourist stuff, but anyone been to Stockholm? If you have, what should I do and not do? Wrap up. Yeah, I've heard it's a bit cold. I've been to Stockport. Yeah, I'm not too far from Stockport, Mark, but yeah, Stockholm is probably going to be a bit more glamorous than Stockport. Close enough. My grandparents live in Stockport, so I've vet there regularly. Right, I'm getting some funny looks at the big changes now. I'm clearly wittering. Right, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. The recording will be on YouTube shortly, definitely by end of play on Friday. Don't get kidnapped. I will certainly try. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure as always. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope you and your businesses continue to be unstoppable. Thank you. Thank you.